Hello YouTube. So I'm back, at least for a video or so. So let's do some discussion. Leave comments at the bottom of the video, your input, what have you. So let's talk Commander. So I don't know how many of you guys that watch my channel have noticed that the new meta has become burn. Which is kind of ironic for me. Kind of bittersweet because for the longest time, I was the guy to play burn. If there was a burn deck at the table, 9 times out of 10, it was piloted by me. But there's only so much you can do with burn and commander. So every so often, you have to go off the beaten path. And it's kind of funny I'm talking about this commander at the moment, considering this whole coronavirus COVID epidemic. So the commander in question today, as a lot of you may know, technically she's banned in commander. And here's the thing about commanders that are banned. 2 things. 1, while the commander is banned, if you're going to attempt to build a deck around a commander that's banned, talk to your playgroup first. Oftentimes, at least in my case, my playgroup is quite accepting. So, for me, as long as it's not something crazy like Emrakul, which I built a deck one time around Emrakul as a commander. I since disbanded it because it's really hard to play. You have to play a lot around getting your mana together, like, really, really fast. And with the colors that I chose for that, which are... I think it's actually mono green. But, yeah, mono green is known for ramp, and it's known for being crazy, and, you know, that sort of thing. But, kind of a slow color. And that's just how it is. That's how it's been. That's probably how it'll continue to be. But, on the note of the particular commander that I chose to build around, she got banned shortly after being printed. And I don't even think she ever actually got to be in commander, legally anyhow, before they banned her. Because of what she does and how she runs. So, I know a lot of people that play Infect. I know a lot of people who play Wither. I know a lot of people who play Negwin counters. Now, the problem with this particular commander, which I will reveal in a minute, is that she pays off in a way too pretty of a fashion to be allowed in commander. So, that being said, commander in question is Hepatra, Vizier of Poisons. Now, when I say she pays off way too much for putting counters on things, it's not her alone that pays off way too much for putting counters on things. It's when you combine her with other creatures that you get way too much of a payout. And I noticed this today, playing with my friend Tom, that you can basically create an infinite loop using Hepatra, another creature which I will unveil in couple of seconds here, and another creature that doesn't really matter what it is. As a matter of fact, it can be one of the tokens that she creates. Don't matter. So the combo, and you need at least one other creature when you go to get this rolling, is Phyrexian Plaguelord, which is a 4/4 for 3 and 2 black. You can tap it to sack it. Target creature gets -4/-4 till end of turn. That's not really the combo piece. Here's the combo piece. Its other ability, you can sack a creature, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Now, most people would look at that and be like, Oh, okay, so you're playing Infect. Wrong. The combo is you have at least one other creature to sacrifice. Sack the creature to the Plague Lord. Give one of your opponent's creatures -1/-1 until end of turn. Get your token from Petra. Sack it to the Plague Lord. Give a creature your opponent's control -1/-1. Rinse and repeat. Because every time you put a -1/-1 counter on a creature, you get a token. And here's the funny thing. So, I actually did some digging because I was not sure whether or not Plague Lord triggers a Petra. Technically, it shouldn't, but it does, because technically, while they are still until end of turn counters, they're still being placed on the creatures, therefore triggering a Petra. Because whenever you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. Now, why is that so scary? Well, that's so scary because unless your creatures have hexproof, and the only thing I can think of is hexproof or Shroud to protect them from Petra, it's killable via Petra, via -1/-1 counters. Because indestructibility refers to combat damage, not counters. Now, the deck that I have her in is pretty simple. Pretty simple rule of thumb for playing this deck. You want to get a couple of creatures out that you can throw -1/-1s around. A couple that come to mind are things like Shambling Goblin. When it dies, token creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, triggering a Petra. Plague Mare, when it enters battlefield, token creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. For those bigger creatures that you can't really deal with all that often right off the bat, Quarry Hauler. Throw more -1/-1s on something that already has -1/-1s. Baneweb Punisher. That one's a good one for when they have something really crazy, really massive. When it enters battlefield, put a -1/-1 on a creature, and then for a swamp, sack it, destroy that creature. Twin Blade Slasher with the Wither. It's not really going to hit your opponents for Infect, but look at -1/-1s to the creatures. A couple of other things, if you use them properly. Where's the one that I'm looking for? One of my favorite ones. Here's one of my favorites from this deck. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with Make Obsolete, but it is a instant for 2 and a black. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Now, the efficiency of this card depends on how large of a board state your opponents have. If your opponents are playing Token Pump, or what I like to call Population Nation, where they just cover the board in creatures, that's going to be one hell of an efficient card. Because you're going to put -1/-1s on everything you don't control, which is going to leave your stuff safe, and you're going to create a crap ton of tokens using Petra. Then, from there, it gets worse and worse. You can play things like Skullduggery until on a turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1. There you're beefing one of your creatures, and you're giving yourself a token. Another good one that's kind of an anthem effect, can hit your creatures if you have your green ones out. Festagloom, non-black creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. That just hits any and everything that's not mono black. Abrupt Decay. Early game. Plays for a swamp and a forest. Can't be countered. Destroy target non-land permanent with CMC 3 or less. Doesn't really do anything with a Petra, but it gets rid of threats. But main point of this deck and I wish I had some Infect to put in here, because it would go right along with Petra. The main point of this deck is to basically annihilate your opponent's board utilizing Phyrexian Plague Lord and a Petra. All you have to do is get one time where you set this sucker off for a neg1 counter. Create a token with this. That's all she wrote. That's game over. Because with the token from this, you can sack, put another neg1, create another token. And the cycle repeats. Now, mind you, there again, doesn't have to be that way. If your opponent has a way to, like, break up your combo or whatnot, they can end your stuff. But the reality is, unless your opponent has a way to stop your whole Phyrexian Plague Lord Vetra combo, there's nothing they can do about it. And 9 times out of 10, what I've found is by the time I have Plague Lord out, I have a creature to sacrifice to it. Granted, it might not be greatest of options to sack a creature to it, but if you have something out, like one of my favorites to sack to it is Shambling Goblin. Because then, you're sacking it, giving a creature neg1, and when this dies, you're giving another neg1. So, some edits that I may or may not make to this deck. I don't have any mana ramp. I do not have any destruction spells. Don't have any life siphoning spells. So, I may play around with that a little bit. Play around with my mana ramp. Play around with some siphoning. But, it's a pretty run-of-the-mill deck. Now, again, like I said, very beginning of this video, Petra is banned in Commander. But there again, if your play group says, yeah, whatever, build with her. Have fun, knock it out of the park. If I could do like I truly want with this deck, it would be all Infect or all Wither. Or a combination thereof. With a few spells that give neg1 and support stuff. Now, again, I built this deck. Well, I had intentions to build this deck a while ago. I just never got around to it. Because, funny enough, when you know it, I found it one day in my collection. I'm like, cool, I'll have to dig around and see what I have for neg1. Well, when you know it, I went and collected the cards with the neg1 and couldn't find a Petra. So then I spent like 3 weeks looking for her. Finally found her. Threw the deck together. And here we are. Now again, talk to your playgroup. Don't just, I'm going to run her Petra because I can. But something interesting I thought I would put out there. Something else that I wanted to touch on, since everybody is in a tizzy and losing their minds over it. I'm going to talk about COVID for a couple minutes here. So, it was one of those things that government was like, nah, it's in China, it ain't going to hit us. Well, it did. And as such, now we have a pandemic over here and stuff. It's going around to everybody. Everybody and their grandmother's coming down with it. Now, there again, I've not been quarantined yet, simply because of where I live, and the county I live in. But, I mean, I can't even go into work and do like I usually do because, you gotta wash your hands beginning and end of every break. Telling you. You might not think it affects you personally. Until it does. And I'll say this much too. Just because you may think, it's just taking out people with weak immune systems, Actually, no, it's really not. There are people that are my age and younger that are dying to this stuff. It is a very nasty virus, and it doesn't play. So, in short, wash your hands, stay safe, and don't catch the stuff. It's not fun from what I hear. That's pretty much all I got right now. Now, as I say at the end of every video, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video.